Miami hit only one of their last 10 field goals. It started after they took the 9-point lead. Looked like your team really picked up the energy there. Was that the difference, the energy translating to defensive stops?
You know, Andrew, it was something because I think we were 9 down at the 12-minute timeout, and I said, let's win the next 4 minutes, even if we just win it by 1 point. And we got it to 53-50. I think I looked at the score tonight more than I ever have in all my life put together. But we got it to 53-50, and Andrew Playtech missed a wide open three from the top. And then we give up 2 dunks in a row, and then all of a sudden at the 8-minute timeout, we had only gained 1 point. So I told him again, I said, okay, let's win this 4 minutes. And then I think we did win that 4 minutes. But we did get some stops down there on defense. They missed a couple of easy ones. They missed a free throw, I think 2 or maybe 2. But I think that helped us. But there were 3 big shots for us in the game. I think Leaky, when he goes to the free throw line, has a 2-shot foul. And I think we might have had the lead then. I didn't look at the clock at that time. But he missed both of them. And then he comes down the next time and makes a 3 from the corner. Caleb, who hadn't made a basket all night, and really was, I guess that's right, because he was 0 for 8 because he finished 1 for 9. Caleb makes that big 3 right in front of our bench, and then Andrew made the drive there at the end. Garrison made 2 big free throws, and I think so all of those things get in there, but we did get a couple of stops. We were trying to platoon a little bit at the end. We were having Kerwin in on offense and Andrew on the defensive end of the floor, and I think that helped us. Kerwin missed a shot right in front of our bench that I think was a little quicker than I would have wanted with the 2-point lead, but that helped us a little bit, and we got a turnover on the press when we finally got somebody to beat their guy to the ball, and it hit 33's hands and went out of bounds. But so I would probably agree and say, yeah, that our defense was something during that stretch that we did some good things, but yes, they missed some shots too.
Brendan Marks.
Hey, Roy, just between the end of the last game and obviously the way Leaky played tonight, what do you notice that's different about him, maybe the way he's responded from not being in the starting lineup that one game? And is this the best that you've seen him play since he's been in Chapel Hill?
No, because to answer the second question first, this is not the best I've seen him play. Today he shot the ball really well. I mean, look, what'd you say, Steve? Yeah, 4 for 4 from 3. So that was big, but at the same time, I always expect Leaky to be great defensively and be very intelligent. And his drive in there and the charge late in the game was not a very smart play, but he's been sensational at times defensively. This was this was the best game that he shot the ball in the hole from outside, to say the least. But he can be much better defensively, and he can make better decisions with the ball. And at one point, I started to go with him at the point guard spot because Caleb and RJ, looking at them now, they're 2 for 14. Those guys are going to be really good basketball players. They've got to decide to do it before I die, and hopefully this year. But they're going to be really good basketball players, and they've just got to start making better decisions with their turnovers and at the same time make some more shots.
Thank you.
CL Brown.
You always. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
You can't hear us.
In a win, so I was wondering how can you hear me? Okay?
Yes, CL, just keep going.
Stop
Going out.
CL, we can't hear you. Text me your question and I'll get it asked. Thank you. Move on, Matt, to the next questioner.
Josh Graham.
You mentioned the struggles that Caleb had shooting it a little bit.
Considering,
a little bit. Yeah. With both him and RJ, what are some of the areas you've been keying in on to try and get them more acclimated to this level of play?
They've got to stop turning the ball over. That's the biggest thing. They can both be good defensive players, so they got to stay in front of the basketball. I've always said if my point guards will stay in front of the ball and not turn it over, I can stick with them for anything. They're both shooting the ball terribly, and they're good shooters. But this is not kindergarten basketball. I can't say, oh, you're doing great. You know, you're shooting 28%. God, that's fantastic or anything. Sometimes you got to man up and start making shots, and that's what they have to do to get their entire game going because they focus so much on their shots going in. And I still say focus on things that I talk about as a point guard is stay in front of the ball, do the job defensively, and then don't turn it over. But guys, we lost, what, Clint, 4 games early on our schedule? Yeah. Those games would have been really valuable to our kids. We have 6 freshmen in the top 10. Those games would have been really valuable. 1 was on the road at Monmouth, 3 was at home. We didn't have those, and all of a sudden we're playing in Maui, and we're playing at Iowa, and we're in the ACC, and they should be about 3 or 4 games into an ACC schedule, or I guess 5 or 6, instead of this being the 11th game. But the bottom line is I trust them, I believe in them, I'm putting them in a game. Now they got to play better. That's pretty simple. You just got to play better.
And to follow real quickly, because of what you just said there at the end with how they've had to be pushed to the fire a little bit, have you been a little bit more patient with the freshmen with the way you've coached?
I think I've been the most patient I've ever been in my life. Now, the biggest question is, what do they think? But I think I've been the most patient I've ever been in my unbelievable life that I've had. But I've never been this patient. Guys, our 2-point guards, 2 for 14 with 7 turnovers. But you know what? North Carolina won the game. And Caleb made a big 3 at the end, and that was a big, big play. And let's build from that and go on.
Adam Smith.
Roy, after Wong made the teardrop to tie the game with like 15 seconds left, and you guys are coming back down the court for the eventual shot from Andrew, were you able to get off any instructions, or was that just a freelance situation for you guys? Were you able to tell them anything?
Guys, we practice that all the time. I mean, we had more time. If I set up a play, and you've heard this before, if I set up a play, I don't know if they're going to play zone, don't know if they're going to play man. Caleb was hurt. Leaky was the point guard. And I'm just screaming, let's go, let's go, let's go. But that's what we do. We've done that from Florida State here when Ty Lawson makes a game winner. We did it in the final 8 when Luke May did it. We do it every day in practice. We push it. If it's less than 6, we'll call a timeout. If it's more than 6, we go.
Any other questions for Coach?
Do we have CL?
CL, here
CL, you want to try it again?
Yes, sir, Coach.
Okay, CL, hold it.
CL asked, Coach, what do you need to do to get Garrison out of his slump?
Garrison's just got to see the ball go in. And I do believe that those 2 free throws were big for him. He made 1 dunk, I think is all he made, but he was 4 for 6. I started in the second half. Again, I didn't start him in the Georgia Tech game. I didn't start Caleb. I didn't start Leaky, and those 3 guys played more minutes than anybody else on our team. And again, this is not bitty basketball. Sometimes you just got to figure it out and play better. And we're running almost the same things on offense that we did last year when he scored 488 points, and he's just got to get the feel back. And with Dayron in there, and Armando's been really good until the last 2 games. Armando, in fact, was probably our best player the first 8 or 9 games. In the last 2 games, he's really struggled. But Garrison's got to go back to being Garrison, and if he does that, then it's really going to help our team.
Coach, could you also talk about Dayron? He had 12 points, but he had 16 boards, 7 of them on the offensive glass.
Yeah, Dayron, from the first day of practice or this summer or whenever I talked to you guys the first time, I said that Dayron's as good a rebounder and will go down as the best rebounder I've had since Tyler Hansbrough. And I think that 12 points and 16 rebounds like that was fantastic for him. And needless to say, the last 2 games he hadn't been able to make a layup or anything close. But he's a much better shooter than 4 for 12 and 9 for 19 his last 2 games. But the young man can rebound the basketball and do some great things.